Do you have anal intercourse? And if so, do you use a condom? Well, you should. I'm Dr. Rena Malik, urologist and pelvic surgeon, and today we're going to talk about using condoms for anal sex. If you're new here, I'm a urologist and pelvic surgeon, and I make content weekly about sexual health, bladder health, and urologic health, and so much more. So if you like this content, make sure you subscribe and share this channel with your friends. Did you know that the FDA recently approved a condom specifically for use with anal sex? Prior to this, there's been hundreds of condoms that have been approved for vaginal penetrative intercourse, but not for anal sex. Now, at the end of this video, I'll let you know exactly which condom it is. But prior to that, why does this even matter? Why do we need condoms for anal intercourse? Well, while you can't get pregnant through anal, you can get sexually transmitted infections. In fact, what they found is that people having anal intercourse are 28 times more likely to get HIV than those having vaginal sex. And these are because the tissues of the rectum are fragile, vascular, meaning there's lots of blood flow to them, and they're porous, meaning lots of things can get through them quite easily. But you might be wondering, fine, okay, so we want to protect from sexually transmitted infections, but how well do these even work for anal intercourse? And why do we even need condoms that are labeled for anal intercourse? Well, they did a survey of 2,000 men who had sex with men and had anal intercourse, and they found out that 69% of men would be more likely to use a condom if it was marketed as specifically for anal intercourse or FDA approved for that purpose. To get this approved, a group from Emory University in Atlanta, Georgia, recruited about 250 men who have sex with men and 250 men who have sex with women. And each of these men were randomized to receive 3 different types of condoms. They received fitted condoms, thin condoms, and standard condoms. And they were given 5 of each. So they had to use the first 5, then come back for a study visit and get the next 5. They were also asked to use an application on their phone that could allow them to track every day if they had sex or not. If they did have sex, what kind of condom did they use? Did they have any issues with breakage or slippage, which is essentially the condom not working? And then also followed if they got any other sorts of problems like sexually transmitted infections or urinary tract infections in their partner. They also all got packets of water-based lubricant with their condoms, and they were encouraged if they were having anal intercourse to use lubrication. And for vaginal intercourse, they were told to use it as needed. And guess what? The failure rate for condoms used for anal intercourse was actually lower than that of vaginal intercourse. It was 0.68% for anal intercourse, whereas it was 1.89% for vaginal intercourse. And you might be wondering, how does that even make sense? Well, nearly all of episodes of anal intercourse used lubricant at the time of intercourse, about 98.3%. Whereas for vaginal lubrication, only 41% of people use lubricant at the same time. And they did see a higher slippage or breakage rate in vaginal sex when they weren't using appropriate lubricant. Also, as I've mentioned on previous videos, you don't want to use any sort of oil-based lubricants with condoms. The best kind of lubricants are water-based, aloe-based, or silicone-based. And particularly for anal intercourse, you want to make sure that you're using a lubricant that has a pH that's similar to the anus, which is different than the pH of the vagina. Also, you can use silicone-based lubricants, which last a little bit longer and don't evaporate. If you're using water or aloe-based, you may find that you need to reapply so that you keep the lubrication. They had very few what we call adverse events or problems associated with condoms. Less than 1% of having sexually transmitted infections, and this was probably associated with people either not using condoms or having breakage. Less than 1% of having urinary tract infections in your partner, and less than 1% of having discomfort with the condom either for yourself or for your partner. So which condom is FDA approved? Actually, it's very interesting. I had not heard of this company before. It's called One Condom, and they have a very interesting approach to condoms. They have multiple different sizes. In fact, about 54 different sizes. So when you go to their website, you can download a paper which essentially tells you how to measure your penis, and you use that paper as sort of a ruler, and it has letterings on it to help you measure the length and the width, and it gives you a code, and that code becomes your size, and then that will give you the right size condom for your exact anatomy. Do you have to use one condom for anal sex? No, not exactly. You should use whatever condom you like and whatever condom you feel most comfortable with. with. But I would highly recommend using a lubricant at the same time. But if you're interested in trying one condom, I've included their link in the description below. As always, thank you so much for watching, and remember to take care of yourself because you're worth it.